Sandringham Yacht Club and the shallow waters of Port Phillip Bay played host to the Aberdeen Asset Management 2014-15 Farr 40 Australian Series Victorian state title. It's the first time the Aberdeen Asset Management Farr 40 Australian Series has come to Victoria, and conditions proved very challenging, even for the most experienced sailors. For the third year in a row, Aberdeen Asset Management is the sponsor, and the event began on the Thursday night with a twilight race.
This is the first regatta that we've been at in the Farr 40s. It's been one of the Aberdeen Asset regattas. We had great fun in the sponsors race last night. It was pretty breezy, but it was good fun, and I'm, appreciate that corporate companies like Aberdeen get involved with our sport, assist us, bring new people in to see what we do and maybe to appreciate the efforts that we're making. And there's obviously, a relationship that builds between the class and the company.
A couple were a little bit thrown about by the rough conditions, but it was very exciting. And we're looking forward to a really exciting series. We're delighted to be back again this year for the third year of our partnership with the Farr 40 Association, and this really kicks off the season well.
It's the first time that we've been able to be in Victoria and in Melbourne. We find this an exciting opportunity.
It's nice to be here at Port Phillip, and I think we'll have a great weekend here with the swell and the forecast, so we're looking forward to an exciting weekend. We didn't really know who would be our threats. Well, I didn't coming into this event, so it was really great to see how well kindergarten were doing today. Every time I looked, they were always there. They were always in the port and starboard with us. They were just ahead of us or just behind us, so they've done fantastic.
Our goal has been to try and be close to the leading bunch of Transfusion and Voodoo Child. We're certainly exceeding our expectations in terms of results on the board. I grew up down here. This used to be my home club, so it's great to be back on home water. Yeah, really enjoyable.
It's my first regatta on the back of the boat with the boys. I did do one event a couple of weeks ago in Pittwater, in the middle of the boat. So I must say the middle of the boat's probably a bit more my style than the back of the boat, but I'm giving it a go, so we'll see if I pass the test.
Racing was close. We've ended up in third. We're happy enough with that, but not totally delighted.
The weather today is southerly, turning southwesterly, 20 to 25, sometimes gusting a little bit more. I think it's going to be a really good racing day.
Today we'll be taking roughly 50 guests out on the boat that you see behind us here, which will be a very nice boat for our guests. Hopefully it won't be too rough.
The Farr 40 class complies with a strict one design rule, meaning the boat has been built to a specific design and all competing boats in the class are not permitted to make amendments to that design. Any competitive advantage must be derived from the skill of the skipper and crew alone.
The conditions today were very rough. We had plenty of wind on. We haven't experienced sort of waves like this in upwind, downwind racing, so yeah, it's all a new experience for us and we're learning every time. Hopefully tomorrow we can get up a bit higher and beat double black. It'd be good.
Our aim for the regatta was to try and benchmark where we're at the moment, try and get as close to the other guys as we can. It's really competitive and a lot of fun out there. Our crew's all local based guys and they're loving it. Very windy at the moment, which probably helps too. We're pretty used to sailing in choppy waves at times, so it's having a great time.
It was such hard sailing. The surfing was just fantastic. Nice steep chop, getting onto it and just sort of wiggling down, and my boys telling me, hey, Guido, slow it down, don't wiggle so much. And I said, I'd like to wiggle.
The pressure was much harder today, and so we were lucky enough to get some good starts, certainly the first start. Much better than yesterday. We had two very poor starts. That's the thing with sailing. You have one day was a really bad day, the next day was a pretty good day actually. We were facing the world champions and that, or ex-world champions in the Voodoo Child. So today we were third boat on the course. We're very happy.
The conditions today are going to be a bit otherwise. As you may see, it's raining now and it's pretty damn windy. The sea out here gets very, very lumpy because it's quite shallow and it gets very bumpy, and it's quite tricky to helm in. So interesting stuff. Cold, wet, raining and lumpy. Hallelujah, this is sailing.
Typically going downwind at speeds of around 15 knots, that's about 25 kilometres an hour. It seems extremely fast because you've got spray blowing back onto you, you're down right at the water level, there's a lot of noise from the water running past, and there's a lot of dialogue going on within the crew to keep the yacht in balance. It's great fun, it's one of the things that as sailors we live for, these days where you get out there and put the hammer down.
It's tough because you need the rest of the fleet to get in the mix, and as it's breezier, I think that they're probably just to click off the manoeuvres and crew work involved. So I think it's going to be a 2-horse race. Hopefully Jonesy can get back up there today and mix it up. But unfortunately, the point gap we left him on the first day, I think we're going to struggle to make up. But anyway, we'll take it to him, see how it works out.
The competition here is very stiff, I think, and we were battling with Rod Jones on kindergarten for most of the race. We were quite close, and there was some lifts and knocks, and he was playing that better than we were.
I think we actually led around all the marks except for the most important one at the end, and she got inside us at the jibe. We had a bit of a slow set. She got inside us at the windward mark. We got right back to her, and I think at the end we split off just to try and see if we could grab it, but I would say she probably beat us by boat length or so in the end. It was very close together racing all the way down the last downwind.
Somehow on the last run we just managed to have more speed downhill, and there was some great surfing today. I loved it, lots of wiggling going on, but not too much to appease my crew today.
This sounds very strange, but in some respects it's good to finish the regatta knowing we've got a lot more work to do, because there's a lot more motivation to do that rather than to cruise along thinking, oh, we're actually getting there. But I think today showed why Team Transfusion's a former world champion and the top boat in the country, and Voodoo and the other experienced teams like Ed Ake are very strong, so we've got some work to do.
We just take every regatta as it comes. We can be beaten, and we're always out there for the battle, and we've got the usual suspects chasing us down, but what we've got to do is just make sure we're on top of our game. We're always learning. This is a game that doesn't matter how well you've sailed in the past, it's always things to learn, and we love the class for that. It's a great class for learning. A lot of people who push each other, and that's part of the reason we're here.
The Transfusion crew, solid as always, were clearly ahead of the rest of the fleet in winning the regatta, and we extend our congratulations to them.